Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now this one's a little different, it's a Let's Show again, but this time not something I built, but something what someone else built for me, because you might have recently noticed that I asked Dooku to rebuild one of my old ships, the Erwin ship, you might have already know. And I already have a tour of that ship in that in-depth series, but he completely rebuilt it from the inside out, and there's only small things that are similar. So I'm gonna go over everything myself, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents on it. And yeah, let's begin. Now, of course, I asked if I can show you this, and he said yes, and yeah, I'm gonna do that now. As you can see from the exterior, it's not too different. Like, he did keep a lot of the basic designs, which is very nice. I can definitely see that, and I also like how he improved some areas that were a little janky, and we're gonna get into those areas a little bit more in detail when we get to the interior. But basically here we have the top deck. There's not too much of a difference here, but everything just has been a little bit more detailed with some stepping stones added. This brand new telemotor is now also here, and of course the bridge is different. It's been completely updated and now makes actual sense, which is very nice. So it's all been polished. As you can see, everything back here is also a little more updated. Looks a little bit like on my Arctic. I guess I can definitely see that. But down here it's a little more basic, but it still looks nice. So I think this forward area was for officers, right? Because of that little alcove for the mess, as you can see. So this is still here. So you will be able to see that in these interiors, many of the core elements of areas will be the same, but many of the things that are around that will be entirely different. So I'm not going to go into every single room, I'm just gonna go about the main areas, as I do want you to check this ship out yourself. So we have the ventilators, I believe. So yeah, this is pretty similar, but not a lot had to be changed in here anyway. But as you can see, the staircase itself has been updated. It's a lot nicer, definitely. I think the old staircase definitely needed a lot of updating to look nice again. I can actually kind of see the France inspiration here in this little alcove. Now that was already here, but it looked different. So yeah, it's very nice. It's been a lot more detailed, and it's, yeah, all the more polished, and I think it really needed that, the ship. And now something you can also see, this room is completely different, which is definitely warranted since it looked pretty ugly. Now something I will do in editing is I will put up some pictures of the old rooms here in the corner of the video, hopefully, if I don't forget, so you can actually see the changes and in designs and everything. So I am going to do that for convenience. But yeah, he added stuff like this grand piano. I used to have like an upright piano in here, but they changed it out, which makes sense. And yeah, there's this impressive island like middle area here with the glass, and also like this top area, this little fancy chandelier like on the Olympic class. It's very nice, and this room is generally a lot more cozy. And something he also added is this little pantry coming out from it. This is where another ventilator area used to be. And this used to be the third class premium lounge. Now it's the smoke room for the first class, which you can actually still see a lot of the original designs in this room, which is very nice. Some inspiration from what used to be is very nice. And yeah, that room still exists, and this aft staircase has been made a lot nicer since it is now a different class. As you can see, all the lifeboats look a lot more beautiful and fit into the time period. Also like the funnels a lot more. Top deck stuff has been a little bit more detailed. Engine hatch is not too different. Nothing needed to be changed there anyway. And this aft deck house used to be storage and the third class staircase. Now it's second class, since the stern is now exclusively second class, with third class being bunkered in the bow sections. So this area is now a very nice smoke room, I believe. I think it's a smoke room, but yeah, it's very nice. It even has a little dome where a dome, I think there was a dome here. And yeah, I really like this little nature inspired corner over here, and it's all very open area, and it's actually very nice for second class. You usually don't get very nice areas. But yeah, let's move down on our deck to the main promenade. The steering gear is slightly different, I believe, but it's not. But that didn't need to be too much change anyway. I think this might be new. I'm not sure. But yeah, second class of course is back, but obviously a lot nicer now that there is another class. And yeah, there's a nice general room. This area at the back of the ship is definitely very Olympic class designed. Like the Olympic class with the general room library area and the smoke room, definitely getting that vibe. And I actually very like that, it's very nice. And yeah, forward of that we now have first class cabins. It's a lot different actually. Oh, and interestingly, this suite is actually inspired by the suites on the Arctic. So I like that little Easter egg kind of, but it's very nice. I like it. Ladies' lavatory, as you can see, things have been changed, and here we already have a staircase. I think coming down this staircase you had a more open area, but now it's all first class cabins because it's all one class. And something you have here is this side. On this side there used to also be a public room. I think it was the smoke room, but since it's now upstairs it was removed. Yet the library remains, as you can see. It's very nice. It's definitely a lot more fitting. It used to be a little bit awkward in this little space, but he definitely made it work a lot nicer. And of course I absolutely still love the view looking down into the main dining room, which we're gonna get to later. The main atrium area is also a lot nicer. The staircase used to be different, but the way it is now, it's a lot better. Like, yeah, this ship had a lot of potential. That's why I gave it away in the first place. So he definitely improved it a ton by this renovation job. It's very nice. And as you can see, there's some cabins on the sides, and we have more cabins in the bow with the French en-suites, the French suites and other suites, including the Kaiser and Kaisering suites. It's very nice. It's very luxurious, but not over the top. Very fitting for the time, actually. It's very nice. I like it. But yeah, now we actually get into third class here in the bow. Third class entrance. It's a lot more basic, obviously, because mine was a lot different in design. It's maybe not nicer, but it looked a little different. We actually have a smoking room, which is very nice in the bow. So they got that. I think this is actually where the first class suites used to be. But he extended this a little bit and made it into the third class smoke room. He also added these little stairwells into the firemen's quarters. Let's actually go down those now, since we're gonna get into that area now anyways. As you can see, very Olympic classy actually. And yeah, it's just firemen's quarters, nothing special really. We also have the lavatories, very unspecial. I like words. And we have the open space for third class. It's also, again, has its White Star Line vibes, and I actually quite like that inspiration. It's very fitting. So this is the only other public room they get, the third class passengers, other than the dining room, which I don't really count as a public room since it's just an amenity. But yeah, that's all third class on this deck. We then just get into more first class cabins, and then we're back in the main staircase, which looks a lot nicer. Now it does have its similarities to the old one, but it looks different. For example, the staircase going down to D deck, or I think it's D deck, is now here underneath the stairwell going down to the Turkish baths. Now having Turkish baths on the ship is very nice. Now it's not very fitting for the time, but it's still a very cool idea, so I still like it that it's here. Now this is the restaurant to the stars, how I used to call it. And yeah, it's very different. Well, I lied, it's not very different. It's the flooring is different, and this alcove area at the top is a little different. But yeah, you have this new skylight, which is very nice. And yeah, overall it's just been polished, since not a lot had to happen to make that look a lot nicer. And at the back of the room where we have like the private dining rooms, it's been a little bit updated. And after that we used to have first class cabins and then second class cabins. Now we have the galley areas. Now galley areas in general are very complicated and more of an in-depth kind of video, But since this is not my own ship, I'm not gonna get into them, since I can't talk about them anyway. But now we actually get into the area that used to be reserved for third class. I think it was a third class open area. And this is now the second class dining room, which is a very nice room, in fact, I like it. Then after that we have mainly second class amenities, as you can see, very small cabins. Very utilitarian, but all very fitting. We even have all the watertight doors back here, and a lot of cabins, as you can see. And yeah, we have the back store, and that would be the main deck actually. So let's move down to the middle or mezzanine deck. We have some lavatories, more second class. I'm not gonna get into this because it's very monotonous. It's all just utilitarian, logical amenities. But yeah, there's just more crew spaces. Then we have the third class dining room, as you can see. This is very nice, and I think they definitely needed this change. It's very, it fits the class a lot more, and yeah, it works very well. And now since there's less third class on the ship, the smaller dining room makes a lot more sense. So they also have this little crew corridor that they have access to. This is kind of like on the Olympic class with the Scotland Road, just in smaller. And there's also watertight doors in the hallway, which is different. And of course we have the Turkish bath, let's not forget that. So you have the electric bath, some attendants. You have the shampooing room and the temperate room over here. It's very nice, I like this little water feature. And you also have the cooling room over here on this side. I think this is actually inspired by how it looked before. Maybe on another ship, but it's definitely inspired from somewhere. I can definitely see a little inspiration in this room. It's very nice. And something new is we have the plunge bath. This is actually very nice. I think I'm getting some Adriatic vibes in this room, so it's definitely from that ship. It's just a little bit bigger actually, which is surprising since the ship is a little older. So technically in this alternate universe, this ship would have the first plunge bath. But yeah, that's that amenity. Moving forward, we have more third class now actually. I actually kind of like how he made these walls not as tall, and they don't actually go to the ceiling, as you can see, like how I do it in third class now. So that's a very nice feature that he also now does that. That's a very nice detail, which is often forgotten, sadly. It shows the functionality very well. But yeah, third class areas, staircases, firemen, and everything. Nothing special on the deck below that. It's pretty much the same story. And yeah, now we get into boiler casings, as you can see, very updated, a lot nicer than what I used to have. And we also have an aft storage area and an aft post office. Now I think this is from the design D plans of the Olympic class, where the post office and mail holds also used to be in the back end of the ship on the starboard side. So this is kind of probably where that came from. I can definitely see the inspiration in this room. Very nice. And after that we just have more second class, which actually don't get portholes on this deck because we're on the waterline. Kinda sad, but hey, that's how life is. But yeah, getting into the Orlop now, we're starting to wrap this up pretty quickly since this is just a let's show. But yeah, not too much different down here, except of course the engineering, that was just all trash, so obviously that had to go. And yeah, it has been completely rebuilt and redone, and it looks wonderful now. I also like how he made this room into two different sides instead of just one big room. It makes a lot more structural sense. And also the boilers make a lot more sense, they're a lot nicer. Yeah, they're probably also now functional because my old boilers probably didn't work correctly. But yeah, mostly just boiler rooms. Then we have cargo holds, the fireman's passage with the fireman's stairwells. But yeah, that would be the entire ship. Now I did go over this relatively quickly intentionally because I do want you to download this. Now if I don't forget, I will put the link to download this in the description. But once again, I did not build this, Dooku built this for me, but it was inspired by one of my old ships I gave to him. And fun fact, I didn't tell you yet, but he's already working on another one, the Emmanuel ship he's already rebuilding. So when he releases that, I'm also gonna do a video on that. So yeah, basically we're just going through everything old I did, and the stuff that still has basically value to it that we're gonna rebuild. But yeah, and also another guy, Admiral Terrania, I've been talking with a lot on Discord, also rebuilt my Maria ship. So that's so I'm basically giving a lot of ships away to the community right now. So yeah, you're gonna be able to see a lot more rebuilt ships in the future. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment your suggestions down below, and have a good day, everyone.